Welcome to another reaction video. You're here with Kuma! As soon as I get my Elgato capture card fixed up, I will be recording the Danganronpa V3 demo that is just released on PC this morning, and I will upload that to the gaming channel Ninja Kuma. But in the meantime, I am going to be focusing on this channel, Ninja Kuma Reacts, to upload a few videos because I cannot upload any gameplay content until I fix up the Elgato. So this time we're going to be looking at the unused executions of Danganronpa 2 by WeebyNewz, who, fortunately enough, wanted me to do this. So I am going to take a look at it, I'm going to analyze it, discuss it, put my 2 cents into it, and if at any point you want to give your comments or your thoughts, just go into the comment section below, put a timestamp, and then just insert your comments, because I do love to read the comment section, and I will respond as soon as I can. But given that I'm working on 2 channels at the moment, as well as a Discord and Twitter, I might be a little bit late in responding, but I will read your comments and I will respond as soon as I can, but please don't take offense if I don't reply the same day. Okay, let's get started.
Hey guys, WeebyNewz here. So today I'll be doing the unused executions from Super Danganronpa 2. And before I was planning on doing a character analysis video, but I was working a lot this week and honestly it would have gone up a lot later than this video, so I figured I would just do this one first. So hopefully that doesn't bum too many of you guys out. I'll definitely do a character analysis next week. But it seems like a lot of you guys enjoyed the last video, so I figured I might as well go ahead and do this one next, since I actually understand all of the trivia relating to it now as well. I did a ton of research, and to my knowledge, the Super Danganronpa 2 visual fanbook doesn't actually contain descriptions of unused executions like the Danganronpa 1 one has, but there is a doujin by the Pixiv user Orima, who created their own summaries and made fan art to go along with it. The fan art in this book is included along with the fan art that they created for the Danganronpa 1 unused executions, which did have official descriptions with them. The artwork for this and the descriptions are not actually on their Pixiv account, but they do have a post that advertises for the doujin, and they also have a link to where you could once buy it as well. Unfortunately, it looks as if you can't actually purchase it, at least on that link that they provided, but you can actually go on there and request that the artist resells it. So I'll link that down below if anybody's curious as to what that is. A lot of
Okay, I just paused it at 124. Does that mean that these unused executions are not official, or does this mean that they are official, but they were not released in the official art book, and so Orima himself created the visuals for them, which he then sells? Or I'm a little confused. These unused executions are official, right? Like, they're not just, you know, fan-made ones? Because I wouldn't mind fan-made unused executions. I'm just trying to see whether or not these unused executions are official or if they're fan-made. Not that I'm saying that the quality is bad. I'm just, you know, legitimately curious.
people, including myself, thought that these were actually official descriptions of the executions, because someone a while back translated this page that was actually from the doujin, but a lot of people mistook it as it being from the official fanbook, which led to people posting these descriptions and the art all over the internet without sources, causing a lot of confusion and people believing that these were official. So I just wanted to get that out of the way to clear up any confusion. Although I will say that a lot of the information I've gained regarding this has been from me Google translating Japanese pages, or based off of information I've seen other people who actually own the official fanbook saying that the descriptions weren't actually in them. So I don't own the fanbook myself. It's not in English to my knowledge, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on any of this information, but I spent a long time looking this up and I'm like 99% sure this is how it is. But moving on, I also want to mention that Matsuda and Naegi's unused executions will also be included in this. I planned on actually including Naegi's unused execution in the last video, but once I realized that the description for it was fan-made, I decided it would probably fit a bit better in this one, so I decided to take that one out last minute.
Okay, I just paused at 240. So these are unofficial unused executions, fair enough. And in case you're wondering who Matsuda is, he is from Danganronpa 0. For the love of God, go and read it. I do not want to spoil it. Do not Google a synopsis. Do not spoil the story. Go and read it. It is good. There is no official English release, but I did get a PDF version of it through Twitter, through someone. And if you do go on the Discord and you start asking for it, I'm sure someone, not me, will upload it, because I wouldn't want to upload anything that is not official. But someone on the Discord might. Not me, but someone. I don't know who, but not me. Alright? Alright. Let us continue.
Also, before I start the video, I do want to mention that several characters in this list actually had canon executions in the game, and other characters that either survived or were victims, like Akane, Ibuki, Sayonji, and Nidai, don't actually have unused executions that were included in this work. But anyways, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and get on with the video.
Thank you.
So number 10 on this list is Sonia Nevermind's execution, and it is called Princess Sonia. Sonia is made into a Snow White puppet by Monokuma. As the plot continues, Sonia ate the apple but did not wake up again. The story ends with a happy ending where Monokuma as Snow White's stepmother lived happily ever after. I do like this execution. I love the princess theme and can definitely imagine Monokuma being a little shit and dressing up as a stepmom and giving the villain the happy ending. Kind of similar to what he did with the Wizard of Monami in chapter 3. So the
235. He does say a quote, "Rawr, I didn't need any grannies." I don't know if that's Danganronpa 1 or Danganronpa 2, but he does say that at one point, and he's making reference to Little Red Riding Hood. So no, that was in the, Final Death Room, that's the one. He says that, "Rawr, I didn't need any grannies," when we cut him open. So yes, Monokuma is a little shit that does like these stories. But, if you're thinking of the original Disney stories, those are the watered-down versions. Now, the reason I think Hidaka likes these type of stories, and the reason I think this fits for Sonia in particular, is that she's very dark, she's into the occult and all this. Sweet. But the Disney interpretations of stories such as Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Little Red Riding Hood, and all those stories, they're the watered-down, kids-friendly version. In the original folklore versions, a lot of these stories are a lot darker. For example, Snow White doesn't wake up from, a kiss from the prince. She actually gets impregnated while she's still sleeping. And I think she wakes up at childbirth. So you can put two and two together. You can see the connotation. And of course, you wouldn't want this made into an animated cartoon for children, because we don't want an episode of Ultra Despair Girls being shown to 8-year-old kids. But it's dark, which is why it kind of fits into the theme. Sorry to pause before Sonia's thing is done, but I just wanted to put that in before I forget about it.
The whole idea of that is super funny to me, and I think it's a cool execution based off of her talent. Although I will say I do think it would have been really cool if her unused execution would have had more to do with her interest in Freemasonry or with the occult. Specifically Freemasonry, because then her execution could have been a mixture of her interest in the occult and her talent being a government figurehead as well, since there are so many conspiracy theories linked to Freemasonry. Next up is...
Okay, I'm going to pause it at 405. Freemasonry and the occult, two separate things. I did plenty of research into this, and I was kind of into researching both the occult, and I did go to a Orthodox Christian high school where I was offered a scholarship to become a priest, but of course I said no because I was more interested in going to university. Freemasonry is not as secretive as you think, because they do have a public register where all their members are listed. Now, they do have a lot of rituals, which of course are kept secret, because you have to be within the society to go through these rituals, but there are a lot of ex-Freemasons that have left the organization that have more or less written books and written detailed... I wouldn't say exposés, but detailed sort of descriptions of what these rituals are like, and they're not sort of occult in nature. They're very... how do I say this without spoiling it? Because I'm sure if you Google it, you'll be able to find every single ritual from the 1st to the 32nd degree. The only one you won't be able to find is the 33rd degree, because by then, obviously, they've washed out anyone they don't want. You can more or less find the details of these rituals, and they're not occult in nature. They're just very symbolic, and that's what happens with a lot of Freemasonry. That's why everyone goes crazy about the whole Illuminati and triangles, because Freemasonry does have a lot of symbolism in it, and one of them is the, what's it called? The compass, and the other thing they use for measurement, the angles. It's not the compass, it's the other thing. And that does form the shape of a triangle, so as soon as someone thinks of Illuminati, they think of the all-seeing eye, which is on the American $1 bill, and they go, holy shit, well, there is a triangle on the Freemason symbol. That means Freemason equals Illuminati, and the Dorito chips are in on it, and everyone's in on it, and every single rapper that does the triangles in. That's the thing. As soon as something is secret, there's gonna be rumors. But, you know, if you're interested in that, you can Google it, and you can watch plenty of documentaries on it, but I assure you, a lot of these documentaries are just full of crap. I watched a lot of them, and I just pissed my ass laughing. I know I mentioned this during my Danganronpa 2 Let's Play when we spent some time with Sonia, and she started talking about Freemasonry, and I automatically just went off about it, because she's like, oh, no woman is allowed. I'm like, hang on, there is a lodge in America that has women in it, but it is the only female lodge, which is a bit unusual, considering that the first ritual for the first degree of Freemasonry, which is, you know, bringing non-Freemason members into becoming Freemasons, is that they are clothed in a particular way where their left breast is made exposed, and that is to show that they are not a woman. So during that ritual, they see that this person that is now a candidate is not a woman, because you can see the man's breast, and, you know, men being men, they don't have boobs, plus they're a little bit more hairy than women. So that's the reason why this is in ceremony, and it's kind of weird that it's like, okay, well, this part of the ceremony is there to show that you are not a woman, yet you are females with your own lodge, and if you did the whole ceremony, that means you would have been, and, you know, the females are like, yeah, we did, and it's like, okay then, carry on, ladies. So, yeah, as you can see, I have a little bit of an interest in this, which is why I actually like Sonia so much. That and the fact that she's from the Novoselic kingdom, which implies that she is from the Slav nations, and me being Serbian, I am a Slav, so... I mean, my cousins literally look like Sonia. They're tall and blonde. So, that's why I didn't really spend time with her, because she reminds me too much of my cousins. And the fact that she's into the military and the occult, and she wants to blow shit up, pretty much describes my cousins very well. So, let's continue before this gets out of hand. 405 in 3, 2, 1. Why is Chiaki having an unused as execution? She was executed. And look at this... Those things are just out of proportion. Fuck it, just play. 4 or 5 in 3, 2, 1. Bam.
Is Chiaki's unused execution, which is OX life or death game. Trapped on a Sugoroku board, Nanami was made to move the steps determined by the dices. She managed to avoid a dangerous tile, but Monokuma changed all the tiles into death tiles. Without any choice, Nanami stepped on an electric tile and was electrocuted from the feet up. So if you guys were like me and you weren't familiar with this game, it's basically similar to Snakes and Ladders, and it's when you roll the dice and move a number of spaces based off of the number of the dice. It's a really simple game. It's played by adults and children, and I also saw online that in Japan it's actually traditionally played on New Year's Day, which strangely enough is the same day as Hajime's birthday. So I don't have too much to say about this. I do like this execution. The only reason that it's kind of ranked low is because I just loved her actual execution so much. Seeing her and Monami basically fight for their lives, that whole execution was really dramatic and cool to me. But as for this execution, I do think there could be some symbolism with Sugoroku being related to January 1st. I was thinking it could symbolize a new beginning, since after this trial you do enter the 6th chapter where you learn the rest of the secrets regarding the second killing game, and when you begin to really see the overall theme of the second game, which is creating your own future. Next up on the list is Matsuda's execution, and like I said before, although he is a character from Danganronpa 0, I decided to still include him on this list since it is included in the fanbook. Also, there might be slight spoilers for Danganronpa 0, so just go ahead and skip to the...
Okay, I just paused it at 5:47 in case you haven't read Danganronpa 0. I am going to put a time on the video that you can go to skip, because if I start discussing it, it is probably going to have some Danganronpa 0 spoilers. If you haven't read it, skip. I'm telling you now, skip. It is a good read, and if you're too lazy to read, I might do a let's read of it, but just don't spoil it. It is really good. It is really good, okay? Last chance. Alright, now we're continuing. Hitting play at 5:47 in 3, 2, 1.
Time I'm showing on the screen if you want to miss those. But his execution is called Black White. A tied-up Matsuda is transported into a dark hospital. He ends up in the operating room and a group of Monokuma doctors surround him. The red light of the operating room lights up. From the outside, silhouettes of something drill-like can be seen. Almost immediately, the operating room explodes. The explosion is big enough to destroy the entire hospital. Inside the wreckage, a few pieces of paper were found. On them are hand-drawn pictures that look like a Monokuma doctor, with a warning that he is a fake doctor. Matsuda died in the explosion. I like how this whole execution resembles his talent as the ultimate neurologist. And once again, I always think it's super funny to see these little bits with Monokuma just being a little shit and showing a picture of him as a fake doctor. My only complaint with it is that it does feel like it kind of ends abruptly, and with executions like this, in my opinion, it kind of takes out some of the suspense and drama around it. I also would have really liked to have seen Junko somewhere in the execution, or just something implying their relationship together as well, since she would be the one to actually make his execution. Next up is...
Pause at 6:57. I think he died painfully enough in 0. Man doesn't need an execution, that was bad enough. But the whole drill thing, all I gotta say is Saw 3. If you haven't watched it, watch it. I'm not gonna spoil it, but the whole drill surgery thing could be a reference to Saw 3. I like that. You're paying homage to what Kodaka likes. And the whole explosion, well, I mean, it's better to blow up than be, you know, drilled. And the fact that he was a brain surgeon kind of does fit into the whole thing. But it would be really messed up if Junko was the one doing the thing. God damn it. God damn it. Just God fucking damn it, Junko. You're a real bitch, you know that? Hidden play at 6:57 in 3, 2, 1.
Mahiru's execution, and it is called Real Photo. Mahiru is left in deserted ruins. Beside her is a photo album with her name on it. The picture inside shows herself in the same deserted ruins looking into the same photo album. As she flips through the pages, a white hand starts to clamp around her neck, and the final picture shows her lying on the floor. While she is in shock, a camera starts to begin to shoot. When she tries to throw away the camera, a white hand appears behind her without her noticing. This is definitely a very creepy and mysterious execution in my opinion, and it's a really cool idea going off the idea of her talent as well. I love the idea of her seeing her death in photos right before it happens. I can just picture the whole execution in my mind and imagine how disturbing it would be not only for me as a player, but also for the remaining students as well.
7:51 paused. I haven't played it, but there is a Japanese game called Fatal Frame where your only weapon is a camera and you have to get nice and close to the ghosts in order to, what was it called? Exercise them, to get rid of them. I think a fun, well, my personal interpretation of a more fun execution would be that she could be in a sort of house or a maze or something, and she's got these ghosts, but the only way she can survive is by taking photos of them just before they grab her. So she's essentially horrified, but the only way she can survive is by taking photos of these ghosts. Now, she could essentially exercise them all, and then she's looking through the photos on the camera instead of it happening straight away. Because I feel this execution would be a little too quick. She'd go photo, 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 oh my god, I'm dead. As opposed to, okay, we're gonna make her really suffer. We're gonna make her fight for her life. And then at the end, when she thinks she's safe, then we're gonna kill her. Because that more goes in line with what Monokuma likes to do. The little shit, and Junko did it in Danganronpa 3 with Chiaki, with the exit being right at the start, but he's like, oh yeah, you could survive, or Junko was like, you can survive, and she made her suffer, and then at the end it's like, well, you know, you did really well, but you fucked anyway, because that's the sort of thing that Junko goes for. She just plays with them like they're a mouse in a maze. It's so cruel. Stop messaging me. I don't want to be social on a Saturday. It just goes on. I just think that just fits in so much more. The whole game element of just playing with your food as opposed to just killing them straight away. Because all these killing games are essentially that. I mean, she could just make him suffer like she did with Chiaki for absolutely no reason. But she's one more time and I'm blocking you. But you know, she likes to play with her food. And I'm guessing Monokuma would do the same thing because Monokuma is the Junko AI. Alright, let's hit play at 7:51. 3, 2, 1.
Next up is Kazuichi's execution, and it is called Underground Travels. Soda is forced into a drilling machine. The door closes and the machine starts to drill into the ground below. It continues on drilling until it reaches the mantle of the earth, and Soda melts along with the machine. Similarly to Mahiru's, I don't really have too much to say about this execution. I saw some people online saying that it kind of feels like a reverse Jin Kirigiri's, and I have to agree with that. I feel like it's a simple idea, but it's very haunting, and I feel like it's something that would leave a really big impact on me if it were included in the game. Also, the same artist did create an alternate execution, which is included on their Pixiv account, so I will link that one down below if any of you would like to look at it.
Who pays for this shit?
Number 5 on the list is Gundam's execution, called Running Tanaka. Gundam is in a giant hamster's wheel chased by a giant Monokuma ball. He finally trips and the 4 Dark Devas of Destruction fall out. He rushes to protect them from being crushed by the Monokuma ball, but he dies with a satisfied smile.
8:54. Gundam loves those fucking hamsters. He doesn't need a second execution, alright? Leave the man alone. He's so pro, man. He's just so... Oh my god, Gundam. You're awesome. You're awesome. You're awesome, Gundam. Oh my god, so good. 8:54. 3, 2, 1. Bam.
Anything that has to do with Gundam's hamsters dying or almost dying just absolutely kills me. And I really love this execution because it really tugs at your heartstrings, and I really liked the canon execution as well. I thought it was sad enough just having to watch his hamsters see him in his dying moments, but him actually going out of his way to save their lives and then die in front of them is just way sadder to me. So I actually think that I might like this execution a little bit better than his real one, just because him going out of his way to save the hamsters raises the stakes a little bit more and also pulls at your heartstrings just a bit more as well, at least in my opinion. Next up on the list is Fuyuhiko's execution, and it is called Best Battle. Kuzuryu is hiding in the midst of a gang battle. A Yakuza-style Monokuma is involved in the fight as well. Monokuma spotted a shadow which resembles Peko and made his way towards her. Seeing this, Kuzuryu rushed forward to cover her but was shot fatally. Peko seems to notice this and turned around to face him. It turns out to be another Monokuma. Kuzuryu dies with a regretful smile. Similarly to Peko's actual execution in the game, I find this one absolutely heartbreaking and super good. I'm not really much into shipping, but I've always loved their relationship and how much we see that they care for each other. And at first when I heard of this execution, it seemed almost like his version of the Peko execution, and I imagined it taking place in the second trial. But on second thought, I think it would be even sadder if this was an execution that took place towards the end of the game after we have already seen her death, because then we would see his reaction to thinking he sees like her ghost or something along those lines. Because for that half second we would see him have that sort of hope that she still is alive, and that his gut reaction, even knowing rationally there's no way she's alive, it would still be to protect her. Next on the list is Hajime's execution, and it is...
Pause at 10:50. What is it with this fandom and boats? What is it with all the boats? No, but Fuyuhiko he's a bro. He's a bro. He's adorable. He had, I would say, one of the best character developments in Danganronpa 2 because he was just hilarious at the beginning. The first 2 trials were swearing, threatening Mikan, insulting everybody, was just hilarious. And before it became annoying and too repetitive, he had character development, and then he turned into an awesome guy. So Fuyuhiko is definitely one of my favorites out of Danganronpa 2. Definitely Danganronpa 2 would not be what it was without him. He, like, when he threatens Mikan during the first trial, I pissed myself. That was just, like, you know the one I'm talking about, right? If I have the clip, play the clip. Play the clip.
What the hell are you talking about? It's obvious the knife was the murder weapon.
Diameter 5mm, remember, kiddo?
But based on the entry, I on Yaki's body, the actual weapon should be roughly 5 millimeters in diameter. 5 millimeters in diameter? That's like way skinnier than a knife.
Exactamundo, it's like an iron poker.
Hey, that better be true. If you screwed up, I'll sell your fucking ass to a whorehouse.
I would keep you around for comic relief. That is all.
Not a whorehouse.
Oh man, that would pay top dollar for you.
Hey, why are you threatening her?
He's a Yakuza. It's what he does. That... Danganronpa 2 would not be Danganronpa without that. That was just perfect. But, oh, getting shot, that would work. But it's so quick. Am I the only one that would be thinking of something a little more along the lines of the end of Lord of the Rings? You know, at the Battle of Arm in Hand with Boromir. Yeah, that's the one. Where he's trying to protect the hobbits and he gets shot 3 times with an arrow. That's the one. And then Pekka would come out and save him, and then, you know, he would die anyway, and then they would both despair. Because isn't the whole purpose of these executions to cause despair? I mean, yeah, sure, he would despair because he's dying, but what about the rest of the people? I mean, you want to make him suffer as well, don't you? I mean, that's the whole point of these executions, to make everyone else feel shit. So how do you maximize this? By extracting as much despair juice out of the death as possible. Or maybe I'm just really dark because I spent a little too much time watching horror movies. Anyway, let's carry on before this gets any darker. 10:50 in 3, 2, 1. Bam.
Called Scratch de Hinata. Hajime is printed on a scrap paper. Monokuma picks up a coin and starts to scrape the paper, while Hajime remains helpless. After Hajime is completely scraped off, the word "try again" is revealed. Disappointed, Monokuma throws away the paper. Hajime's existence is disappearing once again and dies. I know I always talk a lot about how I want the executions to be more realistic, and even though I know this one isn't even like remotely realistic at all, I just love it, honestly. It's super weird and fucked up, but I think it's really cool. I love how they based it off of the idea of his identity disappearing again, like it did with the Izuru Kamakura project, and I'm guessing that's what the try again symbolizes as well. Also, Orima did create an alternate execution for Hajime, which I'll link down below, and they created one for Izuru as well, if you guys would like to check that one out too. Next up,
how do you kill Izuru?
Execution, and as mentioned before, this was actually on my list for the Danganronpa 1 unused executions, but since I found out these were all fan-made, I decided to put it on this one instead. But this execution is called 100 Swords. Naegi is put into a large barrel and Monokuma closes the lid. When he's about to escape, a sword comes in from the exterior and grazes his face. While Naegi is shocked with fear, more and more swords are thrusted into the barrel. The barrel is wobbling in the beginning, but after a number of swords, it stops moving. Monokuma peeks into the barrel and closes it hastily. He runs away and the screen blacks out. I've always really loved this execution because to me it highlights Naegi's good luck talent in a really simple but cool way by showing him just barely missing death with that first sword before it finally catches up with him. And even though I know this is fan-made, I do like to think that this could have been the execution that happened in the first game if the remaining survivors would have chosen to execute Naegi in the 6th trial. And the
10:50. Do we want to go one level more fucked up than that? None of the 100 swords kill him. But they miss him so closely that if he moves in any direction, he's going to get cut. I'm basing that off... I saw it in... the thing about Da Vinci's Demons, when they meet Vlad the Impaler, he's got this cage where he puts all these blades and cuts these people. And the funny thing about this cage is you can release someone from it, but by removing the blades, you're essentially cutting vital organs and arteries, so they bleed to death. So as long as they're in the cage, they're fine. You try to take him out of the cage without knowing how to dismantle it, you essentially killed him. So Naegi could be in the barrel, he's still alive with a few, flesh wounds, but if he moves in any direction, he's gonna get cut. That's even more fucked up because 1, his good luck talent worked like a charm. 2, he's fucked, so he ends up killing himself essentially. 3, it pays homage to Saw, because in Saw 3 or 4, there is one trap where the guy has to literally himself go into blades in order to release himself. And 5, it's just a lot more gruesome, because he's either eventually going to lose consciousness, in which case he's going to die anyway, or he's going to give up and he's going to end up killing himself. And it's a lot more painful to cut yourself than be cut by something else. And it's a lot more cruel too, because it's a lot slower. And I'm a really sick puppy. Let us continue. 1250 in 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Number 1 unused execution on this list is Komaeda's execution, and it is called Rope Master. Komaeda is standing on a platform that resembles a circus's flying trapeze. Countless ropes are hung onto the platform. Monokuma begins to cut off the ropes one by one, but all of them are not connected to anything. Frustrated, he punches the cutting board and sets the platform on fire. Monokuma escapes. Komaeda, with no ropes or any other way to escape, dies. I honestly had a really hard time choosing the number 1 for this list, unlike the last one where I knew from the very beginning that Ishimaru's would be number 1, and I really didn't want to choose Komaeda's as a number 1 on this list because he is my favorite character, and I didn't want it to come across as being too biased or I'm just
your
choosing
favorite
it because I like his character. I really do think overall, even taking my love for the character out of it, this is my favorite execution out of these because of how cool I think the imagery is and how the execution sort of relates to his talent as well. It seems like the execution might resemble his luck cycle, which we learn about in his free time events. So the initial bad luck being the fact that he's in an execution, and the good luck being next that once Monokuma begins cutting the ropes, nothing falls. And then of course the bad luck once again being that the platform catches on fire and kills him that way. I also think the imagery is really cool in this art because you can actually see him smiling and drooling a little bit, which reminds me of how interesting it would have been to see Komaeda get executed in the games, since he probably would have been actually excited about being a stepping stool for the rest of the students. I feel like a death by fire is one of the most brutal and probably mortifying ways to watch somebody die too, so I think he would have been excited to die this way, since he would probably think that this is an even greater stepping stool, since the rest of the Ultimates would watch him die in such a despair-inducing way. Orima actually created an alternate execution for Komaeda as well, which is on their Pixiv account, and I'll link that down below if you guys want to look at that one too. But
okay, I just paused there at 1457. I've got an execution. You tie him up, or like, you know, suspend him on something, right? Alright, fine. Let's make it even more convoluted. Nagito is on a platform, right? At the bottom is a giant pit filled with knives and spears of Gugni or whatever you want. Cool. He's standing on the platform. There is Monokuma on the side of this thing, you know, not connected to the platform, with this machine similar to Leon's one where it's shooting the balls. Except, it's shooting bagels. So, if a bagel hits Nagito, he gets knocked off and he falls on the spears. But here's the thing with his good luck. None of the bagels hit him. Until eventually, there's so many bagels that they've literally filled up the entire pit and he suffocates to death because of death by bagels. I think that would be a lot more amusing for everybody. My imagination is really weird. Death by bagels. Could you just imagine that? Missed. Missed. Oh, you son of a bitch. Gets a machine and they're just shooting 1,000 bagels a minute. They all miss until he's just buried in bagels and dies. Let's carry on. 1457 in 3, 2, 1.
Anyways, that will conclude the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I do think that out of all the unused executions, including these fan-made ones, Ishimaru's is still my favorite. And feel free to let me know what your favorite is out of all of these as well. And thanks guys so much for supporting the last video. It did much better than I ever thought it would, so I really appreciate that. A few of you guys left really good comments about Sakura and Tagami's execution and how those could be interpreted, the parts that I wasn't interpreting very well, so I thought those are really really cool too. I'll put those up on the screen. And as for my next video, like I said, I do want to do another character analysis video. I'll probably go through and actually just count comments and decide who I do an analysis based off of those. After this one though, I really do want to do a Kirigiri character analysis just personally, so I'll probably do that one, not this next one, but the one after that. And I'm planning on making another V3 theory video too pretty soon as well, since I know a couple of you guys were asking about those. But anyways, thanks again guys for supporting these videos and leaving likes and comments. I really appreciate it, and I just wanted to take some time to actually say that. And I'll try to keep you guys updated on who I decide to do a character analysis video on next after I go through and count all the comments. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you real soon.
Subscribe to
bagels
for more hope-filled videos.
V3 demo, I will do it once the Elgato fixes. But where's the unused executions for the other characters? Where's Akane's unused execution? Because I remember on my island mode, we were seeing whether or not she's a reference to Akame from Agame ga Kill. No, she's a reference to that blonde chick from Akame ga Kill that just bashes everybody with her hands. Because she's also got big boobs and stuff. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just check out my Let's Play of Island Mode. It's the one where you've got Nekomaru and Akane looking at each other. That's the one where I discuss it. Where's her unused execution? Where's Nekomaru's unused execution? You're giving me unused executions for characters that already have an execution. Come on. I know they're not official, but you gotta give me something. I need some closure here. How do they get executed? Though I don't really believe anyone like Nekomaru. Wait, Nekomaru would have had an execution had he won against Gundam. And Akane luckily wouldn't kill anyone, but like that would be an interesting unused execution. Who else did I miss? Is there anyone else I missed? Yeah, Fat Byakuya. What about his unused execution? I need some closure here. Does anyone know where I can find unused execution theories for these ones? I mean, come on, let's have a discussion here in the comment section. Unused execution for these characters where there hasn't been an unused execution in this video. They need an execution. I think something for fake Byakuya would be something like, I don't know if you guys watch Game of Thrones, but there are the faceless men that can more or less change their faces, a little bit like Fat Byakuya. I think his one would be that he keeps losing faces. Like, his face gets peeled or something, you know, a really, really thin layer of skin. Even though his skin technically doesn't have layers, contrary to popular belief, but like something really, really fucked up like that. Like a little tiny layer of skin keeps getting removed until eventually you go down flayed to the raw nerves, and it's really, really painful, and he's begging for death, and Monokuma's being a little shit, and he's making him suffer, and this video is probably going to get demonetized as a result, because we're discussing torture. Akane, I would think... Oh god, she's got a lot of siblings, and everything she does is to protect them. Let's not discuss that dark element. Who else do we have? Nekomaru. Oh god, but he's got the heart condition. Oh, that's just too cruel. I don't want to do that. How about you guys just give me ideas for unused executions for these characters in the comment section below. Give me your best ones, and we might make a separate video where we discuss them later on. So just shoot me these unused executions in the comment section. Upvote the ones that you like. I will pin a few that are really awesome, and hopefully we get heaps and heaps of people discussing them, flushing them out, and maybe someone that knows how to animate these things might do these things, because that would be really, really cool. Because I think they deserve some unused executions. Not that I'm saying they deserve to be executed, I'm just saying I don't want them left out. Because I don't want anyone to feel left out. I don't want anyone discriminated against. Everyone deserves to be executed one way or another. I mean, come on guys, you can't discriminate. Death doesn't discriminate. In the end, death collects everyone. Death claims us all. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again, Weeby, for making such awesome, entertaining videos. I hope you enjoyed this discussion. It wasn't as analytical as the previous one because it was more opinion-based. Because the previous ones had actual information that were from official sources, whereas this one was more fan-made executions, so it's a lot more opinionated as a result. I hope you don't mind this format. I hope you enjoyed this format. I hope everyone else enjoyed it. I haven't checked out many of your videos yet just because it's so difficult to record and edit and all these other things. But if there's any other videos you would like me to react to yours, let me know in the comment section below. Well, don't let me know in the comment section below. You tweet with me all the time. Just tweet me. And I I will be paying a little more attention to this channel. I will be doing other reactions, not necessarily all Danganronpa related, but I'll be doing other animes as well and other random videos because that's what a reaction channel is all about. So be sure to subscribe to this channel if that is something you would be interested in, and be sure to subscribe to the Ninja Kuma Gaming channel if you're interested in my gaming, because I am going to try to live stream V3 and I am going to have discussions during V3. I think that's going to happen after every class trial live stream. We're going to have a discussion as to what the fudge just happened, and then try to rationalize all the investigations and all the plot twists. I'm going in completely blind. I dodged spoilers like the Matrix. If you try to spoil this game, I'm going to get Monokuma on your ass. I swear. I was going to put you in a cannon, a cheese grater, and vinegar. So thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, share with your friends, hit me up in the comment section below. Until next time, Ninja Kuma out. Bye. Here it comes!
Power levels 8,000, huh? Now it's over 9.
I'm gonna die!
Here, let's go! Come on.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level?
It's over 9,000!
What, 9,000? There's no way that can be right. Cut it!
Oh, shit. Oh, is it powering up? Oh, shit, it's her. Wow. Them boobies. They're huge. What the fuck? Why does she have a telephone? What the fuck is that?
That's a huge bitch!
The fuck?
Hey,
Hey, do robots have to? And there we go. There we go. No, they don't. They have a USB port.
Hey,
That smile and hair reminds me of something. She's like Oscar, but with less reddish hair.
okay, let's begin! Gonta's the culprit! Well, that's settled. Let's go home.
Gonta, tell